What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, many people, they sent me this clip that Fight Hype did, and it was a clip of Shakur Stevenson being asked, what did he mean by his statement saying the Towel Boys approached him and made him a far less offer on behalf of His Excellency Turki Alalshikh to fight William Zepeda than he did Josh Padley. So Shakur clearly wasn't happy about that. Shakur clearly was displeased with the fact that Turki Alalshikh sent his handlers over to send him the offer for the Williams Zepeda fight, which was, according to Shakur Stevenson, significantly less money than the money he made for fighting Josh Padley. And Shakur wasn't happy about it. And he says, I bow down to no man. I stand on my own too, etc., etc. Right? So he said that in a statement that Turki Alalshikh didn't even talk to him in person. He sent his Towel Boys. Right? And many people took that as a way that he was downing the Saudi Arabia culture. Right, because we know they're Muslims, they wear, the turbans, and, by him saying Towel Boys, people automatically took it as if he was slighting, their culture, right? And so he was asked in this interview, what did he mean by the Towel Boys and who was the Towel Boys? And he was reluctant to say anything. He really didn't want to speak. And he stated, F him. Right? He just said F him. And so they titled it, Shakur takes shots at Turki Alalshikh and says F him. Now, who knows if he's directly talking to Turki Alalshikh or he's not. I don't think that when he said the Towel Boys, he was referencing their culture, their way of life. I think he was referring to them being handlers, right? Being my Towel Boys or, my assistants. That's when I read it, that's how I took it. I didn't think about the culture, their way of life, so on and so forth. I took it as he meant his handlers, his assistants. He sent his assistants, right? He didn't even come in person. And Eddie Hearn, Matchroom CEO and promoter, he broke it down and he stated that the offer currently is made less because the initial plan was to have it in Saudi Arabia. If they're not going to have it in Saudi Arabia, then he ain't paying that amount of money. It's going to be less money because they want it to be in Saudi Arabia. If you're not going to do it in Saudi Arabia, he ain't going to pay you a buku amount of cash because I don't believe he values William Zepeda very high. And he wanted to do a 5 versus 5 in Saudi Arabia. Right? That was Turki Alalshikh's whole agenda with this fight. Right, was for it to be a 5 versus 5, Golden Boy versus Matchroom, Shakur versus Zepeda, so on and so forth. Right, that was the plan, and those plans changed. And so Turki Alalshikh is like, listen, I'm not paying the 5. Y'all remember Martin? I'm not paying the 5. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to pay. Simple. He says he'll pay for the fight. He'll fund the fight. Just not the money that they looking for. Simple. And Shakur's not happy with it. the way they titled it, that he said, like he's taking shots at Turki Alalshikh and he's dissing Turki Alalshikh. And Turki Alalshikh, he had responded and he put up a post where he said that a man without enemies is a man that don't stand on principles, essentially. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have enemies when you stand on principles. And so the principle, I gather what he's saying is that we had a deal in place. We had a plan. We had an agreement. And now Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy Promotions, and I'm not sure if Shakur wants it to be in the States or not. He didn't. The better question should have been to ask Shakur, would you want the fight? Is it a must that the fight with Zepeda takes place in the States or Saudi Arabia? Because of the breakdown of what Eddie Hearn said with the contract. You could get the money that you're looking for to fight William Zepeda, but it just got to be in Saudi Arabia. Oscar De La Hoya is making it seem like it's okay to make the fight in Saudi Arabia. So is it Shakur Stevenson that's pushing the fight away from Saudi Arabia? Right? That's the question that needs to be asked. Does he care if you're going to get the money, big money, to fight William Zepeda in Saudi Arabia? You getting the fight you want, you getting the money you want. Why do you need it to be in the States? That's the question that needs to be asked. If that's the case, I'm not saying that's the case. Shakur these days is trying to watch what he says as much as possible because he feels like everybody takes what he says and spins it. Right? But here's the thing. Nobody can spin your words. If you say what you say, you mean what you say, and you stand on your square. Can't spin it. That's it. Stand on your square. You can't. Nobody can spin your words. Right? So is this destroying the relationship between Turki Alalshikh and Shakur Stevenson moving forward? We're going to have to see. I'm pretty sure Eddie Hearn is doing his best to not allow that to happen because he knows the finances that Turki Alalshikh is willing to put up. So, yeah, I heard what Shakur Stevenson said. Many people sent it to me. They said he dished Turki Alalshikh. Everybody wants to down Turki Alalshikh. So they send me this to say, see, told you Turki Alalshikh ain't the savior. Turki Alalshikh ain't doing X, Y, and Z. Turki Alalshikh has made fights that we would have never gotten. Appreciate that. Nobody's perfect. So let's see how it unfolds and plays out, man. But I just didn't take it that way. He didn't really elaborate. So tomorrow he's probably going to say, hey, I wasn't dissing Turki Alalshikh. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, let's see how it unfolds and plays out, man. But that's all I got for y'all. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blooded Sports TV, all one word. Me personally, I didn't take it that way. I didn't take it like he was dissing the Saudi Arabia culture and, you got to clarify things when you say things today's time. So I don't feel like that's what he was doing, but that's the way it comes off. So let's see how it unfolds and plays out, man. But I think that they'll find a way to fix it. They'll come to an agreement and they'll move forward. In any case, they don't need Turki Alalshikh to make this fight because he's promoted by Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. And Zepeda is promoted by Oscar and Golden Boy, and they both on the zone. Do it normal, as if Turki wasn't in existence, period. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out, man. But that's all I got for y'all. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blooded Sports TV, all one word. I'm gone. Peace.